Okay, so I'm Matt's Creative. Okay, if you're new to this whole Linux thing, if you're new to my space, if you're watching this video for the first time, I just ended up moving permanently to Windows. No, not to Windows, to Linux. My God, I'm not good at this, see? And in doing so, everything is about to change for me. And it's mainly because Nvidia got Wayland to work perfectly on Linux. So there's no point in AMD anymore. I'm kidding. It has its own reasons to exist, joking aside. I want to explain why I moved to Linux primarily. And we're going to start there. Now, lately, Microsoft introduced something called recall. Okay? So Windows 11 recall. I'm going to show you here real quick. So it's Microsoft's Windows 11 AI or recall feature. Now, they said you need an NPU to be able to run it. That was proven to be false. What recall does in a nutshell is it records you. Okay, it records everything you do. It takes pictures of your actions and other things. It keeps track to help you remember what you did. I'm gonna try to get into this as much as I can. So let's take a look at this video. This is recall in a preview, and this guy doesn't have an NPU, and there you go. So it basically keeps you in its history, and you're able to copy things from images and to be able to paste them. I get what it's trying to do, but I don't like the fact that it's doing it. Windows, in a nutshell, is becoming completely toxic, and I don't like it. Not only that, but it's becoming bloated, more so than normal. It's becoming slower. I've started to notice this over the last couple of months. It's becoming, I can't say it's becoming buggier because it wasn't. It was actually getting less buggy. All right, less forceful. It was starting to learn about what people wanted. It was kind of interesting. And I love the Windows aesthetic. I love how easy it is. You just jump in, you learn, you're good to go, right? And it doesn't take very long. It takes like 10 minutes. Hey, I need this program. Download it, install it, and so on. But they're moving in direction that even I don't like. And that's something that I can't do anymore. So when explicit sync came into mind about a couple years ago, I've been watching this for a couple of years now, and I'm like, this is going to fix Wayland. And it did. Explicit sync with the 555 drivers. We're going to do it this way, by the way, because I like using the terminal in videos. It scares people. So the 555.42.02 drivers pretty much handed us a perfect Wayland experience. A perfect Wayland experience. Think about that. You don't need an AMD card for Linux no more. If you don't want to have one, you could use Nvidia, have a great gaming experience, have a great content creation experience, DLSS, hopefully frame generation pretty soon, because a lot of people want that. I don't, but I know a ton of people too. So, yeah. My experiences with Windows has been up and down and up and down and up and down, and I'm tired of the roller coaster. I want something that is stable, that is consistent, that works. That is Linux. You know, to be completely honest, it's, you know, Fedora Linux. It does these point releases. It's really cool. All right, so I'm going to try to discuss some of the advantages of Linux in gaming and content creation. My 5900X was starting to slow down a lot on Windows, and the thing that I love most, which is emulation. And as of late, it's not been, well, I've been dropping emulation videos because of that, because, well, I don't like it when things are slow. And I have Fedora 40 to the point where it is faster than Windows in a lot of ways now, which is nice. Dynamic FPS mods help. So if I wanted to, I could run Zelda Breath of the Wild at around 80 to 165 FPS now that it has a dynamic FPS mod. Emulation is huge for me. I've been into emulation since as long as I can remember, and it's been a huge part of me. So to have Windows slowly destroy that experience, it's been a little bit disappointing, you know, in the long run, and I just got really tired of it. Not to mention that gaming as a whole has just overall improved in Linux in so many ways. Like, this is a graphical glitch. It should be fixed pretty soon. But if I want to add GOG games, I do that here, not here, by the way. This is a much better thing for handling GOG. Same for Epic Games, this. But if I want EA and, you know, Ubi Connect, and if I wanted the Blizzard client, I could do that all from right here and right here. And that's really cool. And performance is either faster than Windows, identical to Windows, or about 5 FPS slower than Windows at time. It's kind of crazy how good Linux has become at gaming. How simple it is to get it set up, I have a video about that. You guys can go watch that. I will put it in the description below with a ton of other tutorials about Linux if you're interested in getting into Linux itself. Like, if I wanted to, I would head to my library. I'd click a button. I'd find any game in this list that I want, and I'd install it, and it would run, and it would work damn well. Counter-Strike 2? Why not? Let's play it at 144 FPS or more. Guild Wars 2. Some areas are really crappy, but that's just the game being unoptimized. Other games run at around 200 to 300 FPS. Really great MMO, by the way. RuneScape, no problem. Click a button. We're in. I'm going to use RuneScape as the example, I think. If I wanted to play a game like Dead Island 2, there you go. Black Desert Online, Mirthwood demo. By the way, this is a really cool game. It's currently in demo state. And it's, honestly, I find it ridiculously entertaining. It's like Skyrim meets Fable meets Stardew Valley. That is probably the best way to describe it. Now, more about gaming. We have Proton GE, which has the highest compatibility for games. I mean, you know, RuneScape runs ridiculously well, and considering this is running in Proton, that's really nifty, you know? And you don't want that. They have native apps like Bolts, which I believe is in here. That is also a Jagex launcher. We have applications to install, custom versions of Proton to deal with CPU power management, to deal with modernizing your desktop environment and more. I mean, Linux is endless. It's beautiful. And I love it. Not to mention that it has the biggest community you'll ever find, which in itself is really cool. And they're also, some of them are friendly, you know? When you find that one guy that has no ego and just loves to help, you keep that guy around, you know? Not only that, but there are rare occasions where people are just, they come together as a community, they talk about things they dislike, things they like, and it doesn't always have to break out into a fight. You know, the community matters. It's a huge part of why I love Linux. So, why did I choose Fedora 40? I used to be an Arch Linux user. Used to be the key word, and no longer will be. Fedora in its infancy, when I first started, I was around Fedora 30. It was bad. It was really bad. And by the time 36 came around, it started being really good. And when 39 hit, it was like night and day. Superior to Arch Linux in every way, performance, you name it. It was really getting good, and Fedora 40 just took it to a whole other level. It is so stable, it is so fast, it is so ridiculous that it beats the stability of Windows, even when you have an Nvidia card. Like, if you want to learn how to have an Nvidia card on Linux, it's pretty easy. I have a Discord for that, actually. If we head in here, we go down, you can see that I have a huge subset of guides written on how to get anything and everything done. And that is so cool. And I'm going to keep building it, and I invite anybody to jump in and build it with me. Frogman started. We have Ghost in here, and we have a whole bunch of others, like getting Wine to work on Enterprise Linux. Nice. And like, it's just mind-blowing. I'm trying to build a huge community to help. Now, another reason I chose Fedora 40 Linux over anything else. This is going to blow your mind. I know a lot of people out there don't have good internet, and I understand that fully. I'm not one of those people, thankfully. It would drive me mad not to have good internet. All right, so this is the Ubisoft launcher. We all know what this is. And if I go to library, right? Let's say I want to install Far Cry New Dawn. Download. Download. It's not going to do it with Steam, is it? It's because it's Steam. All right, let's go for Far Cry 6. Download. And continue. Let's say I wanted the HD texture pack, even though it really doesn't do anything. Hit continue. Hit accept. Now, watch the FPS download. 70, 80, 84, 94, 100, 116, 128. It keeps going up and up. Fedora has one of the best network stacks that you will find out of any Linux distribution. And I don't know how to explain it to you. I've gotten this thing to go up to 245 megabytes a second consistently. And that is amazing. So having speed on your side, not even Windows could reach this fast of download speed for me. I don't know what it was, but like that is just amazing. I'm not even going to bother to finish downloading the entire game. I'm basically just done right there. That is one of the other reasons I've chosen this. And having the ability to have a point release means that packages are fully tested before they are released, but they're not outdated by 6 months like with Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a horrible example of a Linux distro. It is basically Windows or Linux, and that is not a good combination. Mint, stick your grandparents on it. But if you're a gamer, this is where you want to be. There are other distros that have this stability and performance, and that's CachyOS. And then there's Pikaos. Those two are great as well. Nobora is an out-of-the-box, all-in-one distro that just does everything right. But I like to dabble things myself, so I made my own Nobora. I put it together myself, and I have my own kernel. I use the CachyOS kernel. And doing things myself has taught me a lot more than I will ever be able to truly admit. And I'm trying to write all that down as I showed you, so other people could come in and have an easy time learning. If you're planning on moving to Linux, you need to make a list. Okay, so let's go grab a little application to make a list, okay? By the way, the only reason it's saying game mode is activated is because I have Lutris open. I did a thing where it just game modes me the whole time for extra performance. Let's grab a notepad application if we can. Like, there's tons of these. My favorite is Sticky Notes because it's like a one-to-one application for Windows. It's beautiful. And we're going to open that up. We're going to take a new note. So before you jump into Linux, you need to find out what games you play. Okay? And next, you find out what applications you use and can't live without. What alternatives to those applications? And you also need to find out what you want out of Linux. Okay? So when it comes to me, the only game that I will ever miss from Windows itself is Battlefield. And when the new Battlefield comes, if it's not working on Linux day one, of course I'm gonna like grab a new NVMe, install Windows, and just use that for this one game. That's why I have Tiny 11 backed up. What applications can I not live without? Photoshop. Here's the thing. Photoshop. Done. Right there. How'd I do this? Well, I already have it pre-installed. I just have it zipped up. I unzip into a certain folder and then I hook it up through Lutris and that's it. It works. So that's a check mark. Yep. What other application can I not live without? DaVinci's Resolve Studio. Not the free version, Studio. Guess what? DaVinci's Resolve Studio. It's got a native Linux version. This thing is mind-blowingly fast on Linux. Even a little faster than it is on Windows, which is great. And they love the Linux community. They optimize for them. They do everything possible. They added networking and cloud, you name it, it functions. And not only does it function, but it functions with CUDA, which is what I need, because CUDA is one of the fastest GPU rendering thingies you'll find. Not only that, but they have a neural engine optimizer. That is awesome. So check. I mean, there's no other application that I can't use on Linux. What are the alternatives to those two applications? What? GIMP? Krita? I don't remember any others. Are they good? No, GIMP is not good whatsoever. I mean, I passed my Adobe class using GIMP, but I had to install a few hundred plugins to make it work. Yeah, that wasn't a good idea, but I went and relearned all of Adobe Photoshop as much as I could anyway. Krita it's good. Like, can we just sudo dnf install Krita? Just do that. We're going to install it real quick and I'm going to show it to you and you tell me if it's an alternative for Photoshop, okay? All right. Because we installed a new application is the only reason this was laggy, because it had to update everything. And of course, there it is. Here it is. So this is Krita, and we're going to open up an image, and I am going to open up this 24 megabyte PDS. Okay? So look, my work already functions, sort of. You can probably see the graphical issues around the 40. But, look at this. Turn it off and on. Yep. But the main problem is it turned it into, you know, something it shouldn't have been. Like, these are letters. And now they're not letters. Like, can I move this around? Yeah, can we just, like, it's vector layers. I get it. Where is it? See, that's a layer. Oh, no, I want it to move you around. Getting used to new applications is kind of hard. Like, is this the move application? This is it right here. Okay, so I can place that there. Does this have a snap? Let's find it. Image. Rotate, mirror, share, view. So we have a snap to. Yep, so there it is. But it's not really snapping to anything. I mean, the zoom's pretty good. It does work in vector, so anything you're building in this, I believe, ends up being a vector, which is kind of okay with me because that means it's just higher detail and it stays higher detail overall. It is a good application, but it needs a lot of work to even remotely become close to a Photoshop competitor. But it is the closest by far. Good application. I like it. A solid 6 out of 10, right? So we got one alternative to Photoshop. What do you want out of Linux? What did I want? I wanted gaming? Check. Video editing? Check. Photoshop? You know? Check. Let's see. A good music player? Check. Good music player. There it is. Can it play the files that I want? That's the most important part. Can it? Well, here's the thing. Let's go down to something really high resolution. And yes, that is a term that exists in audio. Whoa, look at that. FLAC. And it's 24-bit 192 kilohertz. So it plays my files. I'm good. So check. You know, does it look good when it's doing it? I know that's a weird one, but check. Is it customizable? Hell yeah, I did all this myself. I have a video on it. So yeah, good music player. Apple Music. You're probably thinking, there's no way, right? Guess what? You're wrong. This is Cider. This is my Apple Music player. So check. Also, if you haven't heard of this person, she is Estella Dawn and she makes amazing music. All right. And she has a great voice. Also, she's one of the nicest people who you'll find who makes music. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, Taylor Swift's a freaking tyrant. All right. Let's move on. Apple Music. Check. I need OBS. Yep. Check. I need a good browser that I can trust that saves all my stuff. Check. I know it defeats the purpose of being on Linux. Oh no, he's using Microsoft Edge. What are his reasons? Uses almost no RAM. It's an optimized version of Chrome. You can walk into this thing. You can go into here, head into settings. Where is it exactly? I have to figure this out. Look at all this. Tracking prevention. You can be strict. You can pretty much always be strict. Block trackers, exceptions, delete browsing data, privacy, diagnostics. You can turn this off and on. Optimal. Yeah, let's turn that off. Now we can restart. So there's no optional diagnostic data. Search and service improvements. Turn it off. Personalization and advertisement. Turn it off. You can turn off Microsoft's Smart Defender if you want, feel free. Typo correction. This is really freaking useful, by the way. Choose your service provider for your DNS. Say if you want to use 1.1.1.1 or, 8.8.8.8, which is Google's, you can. You can enhance your search security. Like, this has more options than Firefox and Brave put together inside of it. For all of you tinfoil hats out there, a lot of this stuff can be turned off and on. People think that it's just going to track you. Guess what? You're being tracked the minute you connect to the internet. Your data's being taken. VPNs don't actually stop it. They just reroute the data. And the minute it hits somewhere else and it has your stuff attached to it, it is still at it and you are still being tracked. So technically all this is pointless, but it does help speed up a lot of cool stuff. Change your appearance. You can download custom themes. I don't know why it doesn't like automatically sync my themes. I know wish it did because I like the Halo theme. Change your sidebar. You want vertical? Go here and click vertical. Done. Minimize that. Minimize that. You want to set your home and tabs. Use Google. Go ahead. Use Google. Bam. Done. New page. Do whatever you want. You want to deal with your performance? All right, let's do this. Save resources from sleeping, fade sleeping, 1 hour of activity, performance detector, it's there. I use this because it freaking works for me. If you don't like it, use Firefox, it's up to you. Okay, right now that's broken on Nvidia 555 due to having a lack of explicit sync and being made poorly. Firefox in a nutshell, isn't it beautiful? Oh man, there's just so much. What else do I want out of Edge? Well, I got pretty much everything that I want. And what do I want out of Linux? Well, I'm an easy guy to please, right? And I want to be able to tinker. Just screw with everything possible. I want to be that guy that can make his desktop look beautiful. I did that. I nailed that. That is my thing. I want to be able to help people understand Linux. I want to be able to teach them. I ditched Windows because it just was not a good operating system anymore. Okay, it was intrusive. It was just boring. There was nothing to do with it. Sure, you can theme it, but it doesn't change anything. I wanted a dock. I wanted a panel. I wanted a fucking start button. I wanted everything under the sun. I want to be able to control every aspect of my desktop environment, and I can. That's where everything differs. Look at this. This is easy to use. I don't like it because it's ugly, but I can change it. One button from right here. I click this. Look at that. It changed. I turn this back on. And look. I know it didn't change that much, but hopefully you get the point. Like if this dock, if I wanted this dock to turn into a taskbar, you know what I could do? Huh? I can go in here. I can click here. And then I can go over here or back to the center, or over here or back to the center. Or I can just turn that off altogether. I want this to hide when a window comes down, so be it. Okay? I want it to be a thick bar. It's a thick bar. If I want to show the overview, which is this thing right here, I click that and the overview is instantly shown on startup. I want to change the theme, I can change the theme. Linux is endless. So I have everything I want out of Linux now. And it just, using Linux seems to piss some people off. I get it. But it is what it is. So you ask yourself these questions, okay? What games do you play? RS3, Guild Wars 2. I play Dead Island 2. Very fun game. I play MMOs. I play shooters. I play Far Cry 5. Love that game. Like, you ask yourself these questions, okay? Because these questions are so very, very important. And if you can find all of this on Linux and you want to move to Linux, you move to Linux. You join me. Now, I want to show you something real quick. It's very, very satisfying for me to do. This is me deleting Windows. Boop, boop, and the one in the end. And I hit the green button and apply, and it's done. Windows is dead. Tell me your experiences going from Windows to Linux in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Check the description for a playlist or just my main profile on YouTube, and you'll find it if you scroll down. It's called Linux Guides. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe.